Hey everyone, this is Hurls, and this is another episode of My Impact. Tonight's guest is going to be a little different from the last guest we had on. Tonight's guest, he comes to us from the early days of TNA, the weekly pay-per-view era, even into the beginning of the Fox Sports Net TNA era. Tonight it's going to be D-Ray 3000. Yes, D-Ray 3000. So many questions to ask. Like, how did he get signed by Impact? What did he have to do to get signed by Impact? And the crazy story on how he got signed. Not only that, I want to ask him many different questions about, teaming up with Shark Boy. I want to ask him a question about the infamous Universal Studios promo that they did. I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in TNA. But I want to find out about D-Ray 3000's story, and that's what I love doing this podcast, because everyone that we're going to bring on has a different story, and I want to find out what happened and, what was it like around the time that D-Ray 3000 was in TNA, and what has D-Ray 3000 been doing since? So many questions to ask. So without any further ado, let's bring on D-Ray 3000. Hey, what's up, everybody? Today, we are joined by D-Ray 3000. D-Ray, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing all right, man. Ready to do the damn thing,
That's awesome. So, D-Ray, I got to ask, where did you grow up?
Detroit, Michigan. That's, born and raised. That's where I'm from. That's where, I grew up at. And I can kind of say the whole D-Ray persona is kind of like what I've seen growing up in the hood, the winos and the junkies in the street, the mannerisms, and, that's where that kind of came from,
Yeah.
That's Sanford, so.
Man, I got another Midwesterner. It's great, because I'm from Milwaukee, so I know all about the Midwest, so.
Okay.
Real quick, are you a Pistons fan?
Yes and no. I'm not big into basketball. I mean, as far as sports, I like football more than anything out of all the major sports. But, yeah, they cool. That's all right. Anytime any hometown team is winning, that's what everybody's talking about. So it could be the Pistons, the Red Wings, whoever. I wish the Lions could get on that level. But, I'll say yes and no.
I got you. I'm just really psyched right now with the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, it's been so long, and we're finally, going pretty far. But, anyways, not enough about the basketball. What was your first memory watching wrestling?
Well, the way I got introduced to wrestling, I had older cousins, and of course, everybody wants to be like their older cousins, big brothers, or whatever. And they would sit there and they'd watch wrestling on, Saturday mornings and stuff. And at first, I really didn't like it. It was only an hour, but it felt like forever. I would just say, can we watch cartoons? I'm tired of this. And, next thing you know, I'm getting body slammed, and they want to try to move and stuff on me and things like that. And I kind of hated it at first, but, the more I see them doing it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to be like them. I want to start watching wrestling like them. So that was kind of how I was introduced to it. I didn't fall in love with it till the actual first time I went. After that, I was certain that I was in love. I knew that's what I wanted to do in life.
Yeah, for real. I mean, did you have like a favorite wrestler?
Growing up, everybody as a kid, in my time, everybody was big into Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and all of that. My favorite wrestler when I was a kid was Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Oh, yeah.
Who's my favorite? I said Mr. Perfect. Favorite character, I said the Steiner brothers. Those are the guys I was like, wow. Don't get me wrong, I like, the big names like Hogan and Savage and Ultimate Warrior and Sting and all that. But for me, Mr. Perfect was my man.
Oh, I love Mr. Perfect. I mean, he was so underutilized. It was crazy, but man. So what I guess, how did you get involved with wrestling? Like, what led you to become a wrestler?
Well, like I said, I fell in love with I was 9 years old. That's all I wanted to do. And it's funny because everything I had to do since I was a kid was wrestling. When I was in high school, a buddy of mine gave me some like free hotline number or something like that, and I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And they would talk about what's going on. This is during the '90s, man. And so at the end of it, they left the info for wrestling school, the Canadian Destroyer School of Wrestling. So I'm like, okay, let me check it out. So it was the Canadian Destroyer Doug Chevalier, and he had a school in Romulus, Michigan. So I went out there, had my trial. I had to beg my mother to sign his waiver because I started training when I was 16 years old. But that's how I actually get first. Before that, I actually looked in the yellow pages thinking I'd be able to find something. Nothing. Back then, because I started training in '99. Back then, it wasn't where it wasn't like it is today where you just go find a school, in less than 5 minutes. So that's kind of how that came along. I just do that hotline number.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So who was your trainers?
We just started with the Canadian Destroyer Doug Chevalier, and the people that listen, I just want to say this first, that like the move, the Canadian Destroyer, that was like Scott D'Amore. Everybody knows Scott D'Amore is. He was one of Doug's first students, and I was his very last because he died the next after my first match. And once Pete Williams came along, D'Amore gave him the name for the movie. He called, hey, why don't you use the Canadian Destroyer? So that's where that came along. But I'm just putting it out there that way there's no confusion. People thinking that the Canadian Destroyer was Pete Williams. No, Canadian Destroyer was Doug Chevalier. So I really started training with Doug Chevalier, and of course he passed. Then a buddy of mine named Primetime Tommy Johnson took me under his wing, and started wrestling around here in Michigan and stuff like that. And after about a year, I moved down to Pensacola, Florida, and got lucky enough to hook up with the Wild Samoan Sika and his family and everything. And I started training with them, Rikishi, Maga, Rosie, and all those guys. And like I knew the Usos and Roman Reigns when they was in high school and stuff. But that's who I credit for my trainer. Canadian Destroyer Doug Chevalier, Primetime Tommy Johnson, and Wild Samoan Sika.
Wow.
Maybe he Sika for a while too, yeah. So he's taking him to his doctor's appointment. It's just learning. It's just everywhere we went, it's all just talking about wrestling and learning. Just driving from doctor's appointment or a grocery store and stuff like that, and training. It was great, man. Back in them days, it was great.
Man, I mean, you just mentioned so many legends in this business, and to be trained and getting to meet all of them. I mean, I bet you were just like a sponge.
Yeah, I was lucky.
Wow. That is so cool. So,
yeah.
Man, so what was your first match? How did your first match go, and who was it against?
Oh, man. My first match, actually, the guy that was in my first match is Johnny Bravo. He's actually a referee for Impact now. But that was my very first match, September 9, 2000. And, when I think about that, all I remember is being in the back, putting tape on my wrist, like uncontrollably shaking. I was so nervous, had my whole family there, not knowing what to expect. Everybody's telling me how he's going to just, chew me up, with me and stuff like that. And I'm the, new guy in the locker room. I don't know what to expect, but it was good, I was, as soon as I hit that curtain, everything just felt right, And even to this day, when I see him, Johnny, he's like, hey, man, how you doing? Remember that match? Yeah, I was here tonight, But, the guy who I had my first match was Johnny Bravo, and he's the current referee with Impact Wrestling right now.
Yeah, he just helped out Johnny Impact, turned heel. So,
yeah.
So, wow, that is something, Johnny Bravo. Wow, that's crazy. All that time ago, and now Johnny's just kind of getting really known pretty much. So that's crazy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. He's getting his, man.
Wow. So, I guess, what kind of led you? Did you do some matches for Ring of Honor before TNA?
No. on the East Coast, repping for Alpha in '03, and a lot of guys that come through would be like Low Key, Homicide, Hit Squad, Big Wagner Brown, you know, and a ton of guys that did work for Ring of Honor. They'll say, hey, come over, come check it out, you know. That was always booked on those dates that they had. That's when they were just starting out. So I never got the chance to go over there. I did, but eventually have a dark match with Ring of Honor like in '06. That was later on, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Okay. That's how that started. Okay, so I guess let's get into, like, before you hit TNA, what was maybe the main promotion that you were working out of?
Before that, man, mainly working for the Samoans, you know, Chica in Pensacola and up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You know, the smaller indie promotions around the Midwest, East Coast, you know, down. So I was going all over the place, man. Anywhere I could, man. I had the '97 Honda Accord, and I drove that thing from, you know, Detroit to Florida to New York, everywhere, you know. I was trying to get my name any way out there I could, man. You know, and in '03, ended up moving back. Yeah, I moved from here to Florida, and from Florida to Pennsylvania, then from Pennsylvania back to Detroit. And through all of those moving around, I wrestled all over the place, you know. And yeah, that's what I was doing before I got lucky enough to get a chance with, you know, TNA at the time.
Yeah, and how did that all come to be? Like, were you scouted? Like, who saw your stuff, and who gave you the call that, hey, I want you to be a part of this?
It was the whole thing was a big happy accident. All right. When I was wrestling for Alpha, Cliff Compton was wrestling for Alpha at the same time. People might remember him in WWE. You know, when he was in the tag team Deucey Domino, you know. So we became cool. He was like, oh, man, I like, you know, your style and everything. And he gave me contact to Bill Barron. At the time, Bill Barron, he had ran NWA Wildside, which was, you know, a pretty, you know, well-known promotion that everybody wanted to get, you know, trying to get their foot in the door because if you get them seen by other people. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I sent Bill Barron some stuff. You know, this is before you could just, you know, upload a video on YouTube and send out links. No, you have to send out physical packages. You know, put a tape in the mail with some pictures and stuff. It was still around them times. So I sent them some stuff, mailed them, you know, a tape and some pictures and everything. And I hit him up on the email, you know, a couple weeks later, just, you know, asking if he, you know, received my, you know, my info and everything. And all he put was yes. Nothing else. Just why yes? So I'm thinking, okay, well, that's, you know, all right, I guess I'll go look elsewhere. I guess that's a nice way to say, you know, we're not interested. So, you know, time went on. Ended up moving back here to Detroit, and you know, a lot of things changed since since I left. So the only thing I knew is that Scott DeMore still had a school over in Canada. So I started going over there and training, and him and Chris Saban just got in with TNA. So I was sitting at home scratching my head thinking, you know, how can I plot my next move? So I built up enough courage to, you know, say, you know what, next time I go over there, I'm going to ask Scott, you know, if I can, you know, talk to him or something. So when he comes in, I say, hey, Scott, can, you know, talk to him for a minute. So we go in the office, and I just said to him, you know, I know you guys work with TNA now. I was just wondering who would be the best person to contact, you know, to, you know, try to get looked at all. You know, and he was like, oh, you got to contact Bill Barons, and, you know, he's the guy you got to talk to. Don't know, you know, how long that'll be before you get looked at all or anything, but that's who you need to talk to. So I just said, okay, I kind of know him, and that's all I was giving was just his name, nothing else. But luckily I had his email, you know, from Cliff Compton. So, you know, the next day I emailed him, you know, saying, hey, Bill, how you doing? And reminded him what it was, and I sent some stuff to him, and I talked to Scott, and, you know, would like to know if I could come down there for a tryout and everything like that. And to me, it was just a shot in the dark. Like, why not? Well, I ain't got nothing to lose, right?
Sure.
Check my email the next day. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, you can come down this night. They blew my mind.
Wow.
You know, I'm just like, okay, wow. You know, I didn't know what to think. Wow, that actually worked. So next thing you know, I got a tryout. With Tina, and all I'm thinking, the only thing on my mind is I could say, hey, at least I, had a try with Tina. I wasn't thinking, oh, yeah, but go down there, and I'm gonna, blow everybody away and get a job, and everybody's gonna, want to hire me. I had none of that in my head. All I was thinking is, at least I could say I had a trial match with Tina.
Sure.
So, yeah. So, I go down there, and, the first match I drove down there three times from Detroit to Nashville, 8-hour trip, back and forth, and in times they didn't even pay for tryouts. So, but the first time I went down there, it was me, two big dudes from Texas, in a six-man tag with Jerry Lynn, Chris Sabin, and Elix Skipper. It was about 3 minutes. It went by so fast. To this day, I have still not seen that match on tape or anything. I know it's out there somewhere, but I've still not seen that. And a week later, when I'm back home, Bill Barron calls me and said, hey, can you come down next week? Now, I had no money, no way of getting down there, nothing. But I said, yeah, I'll be there, So, next thing you know, they just kept calling me. And at the time, I wrestled as Don Crisis. So one day, I get there, and they're like, Jerry Borash wants to see an office. And I'm like, okay, I'm thinking I'm in trouble. What did I do? I don't have a contract or nothing here. So I go in his office, and this is still when they was doing the weekly pay-per-views in Nashville. So it was like, hey, we were thinking, you resemble Andre 3000 and this and that about Andre 3000. And as he's talking, I'm thinking to myself, how in the world could you connect those two things? And he just said, think of a name, something 3000. Let me know in an hour. And we got to do, there was a live TV later at night. So, at this time, I only got 4 years in the business. And I'm nervous as all get out. And then while he's telling me this, I'm thinking, something 3000? That didn't even add up to me. A name with 3,000 in it. And I didn't know where to start. I hit a brick wall. I had no idea, how to even try to get creative on that. And I guess a lot of the guys could see it in my face. He's like, come back to you in an hour. And I'm just, just standing there frustrated and not knowing what to do. And I walked past Christopher Daniels, like, what's going on? I told him the same thing. They told me, come up with some kind of name, something 3,000. And he just shouted out D-Ray. I said, okay, great, good enough. And I just ran back to the office and told Jim Borash, how about D-Ray 2000? Okay, yeah, D-Ray 2000. That's your name now. Okay. So that's how that happened. And then before, I had the hair because I just wanted to be different. I didn't know how, but I just wanted to be different. So I just grew my hair out just because. I had no end game to it, or I'm gonna make it, this or that with it. I just did it just because. And I'll always be in the back picking my hair out, trying to make it as big as possible before I go out. And I'm out, before I'm at Gorilla, before I'm about to go out. And Dutch Mantel's like, take that out there with you. What's wrong with you? Take that pick out there with you. And I'm just like, okay. And I'm just going out there picking my hair, and I, not really knowing how am I going to do this, though. I just started, I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to put a little song and straighten my step and just make the best out of it. That's how that happened. It was all one big happy accident.
Wow.
Nothing, it's not like I went down there and, I had a match and they sat me down and said, wow, kid, you're good, you're great. We can do so much things with you. Let's sit down and brainstorm. Wasn't none of that. It's just everything was one big happy accident, and that's how G-Ray 2000 was born.
That's amazing. Just the spur of the moment like that, and and it just sticks and it catches on because I mean, it really did stick. I mean, you had a character, you know, and like when people saw you, they're like, okay, we know that's D-Ray 3000, but that is just crazy how that all went down. I mean, look at Willie Mack. I mean, he had to have been influenced by you because he uses the pick as well, you know. So I don't know, maybe he saw your stuff.
He hit me up years ago. I don't know if it was MySpace or Facebook, just to say what's up, you know. And he was there. He's a cool guy. Kind of met him in person yet, but online, you know, hit me up, hey, D, how you doing, man? Nice to meet you, and everything like that. So, you know, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't met him in person, but you know, just when they talked to him the few times I did online, he seemed like a real cool guy. You know, but yeah, he's doing his thing. I like his style.
Yeah, for sure. So, man, so like, what was like the backstage energy when you got to TNA in those first few shows in Nashville? Was this thing where a lot of wrestlers just like real hype and they're like, okay, this is gonna get, you know, were they thinking, oh, this could be huge? Or and did you guys know you were onto something at that time?
Well, all right. When I got there, like I said, I've only been a wrestler for 4 years at the time. And I'm in the same locker room, you know, with AJ Styles, Raven, Ken Shamrock, Shane Douglas. You know, I can go on and on, Biss, and you know, Christopher Daniels, Amazing Red, and then really, you know, Jeff Hardy. I was just overwhelmed and scared to death, you know,
Yeah.
at the same time excited and happy to be there, you know, out of everything. I mean, I was waking up in the morning with a smile on my face from ear to ear, but at the same time nervous and scared to death, not knowing what to expect. But by the time I got there, I think they were around 3 years at the time, 2.5, and I mean, everybody was just, the energy was there. Everybody just felt like, you know, let's go out there and make something of it, because it wasn't nothing else. It was kind of like, it has to. You know, we had to. That was the kind of the vibe that was, you know, in the back, you know.
Sure.
So, you know, I mean, I really didn't know what was on a lot of people's minds. I didn't talk to them about stuff like that. I was just so happy to be there and just want to do my very best. And just, it was just so much, and it was just, every day was like, wow, you know?
Yeah, oh, I bet. I mean, and you know, like you said, you're so young in the business, and I mean, young in general. I mean, that's just got to be just crazy, like living every moment, you know, just soaking it in.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy, man. It started, this whole thing started in going to Nashville once a week. Next, you know, I'm flying to, you know, Universal Nashville and Universal Studios, you know, every week. You know, and people that didn't know me, if I tell them that, they'll think I was lying. You know, it was just like, wow, the whole trip.
So then, you got paired up with Shark Boy.
Yeah.
Tell me how that kind of came to be, and what was some of your greatest memories working with Shark Boy?
It's funny. I just seen him 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, up there. Yeah, but the way that came about, you know, I guess they, you know, nobody. My first time meeting him, I wrestled him that night. It was some kind of 4-way match we did. That was my very first time meeting him, and I didn't think nothing of it. The next thing I know, all of a sudden, we're a tag team. I mean, that was just the office doing. It wasn't like me and him was like real good buddies and went to them and said, hey, put us together. That was just something the office did on their own. Because I guess they said, okay, Shark Boy, you know, he's playing there. We got this other goofball, D-Ray. Hey, let's slap them together. So I guess that's how that came about. That wasn't, you know, that was just one day I showed up and next thing you know, well, you guys are tag team. Okay, you know. By then, by the time me and him started tagging, that's when they just started doing Impact. And yeah, that's how, and yeah, by the second or third week of Impact is when they finally gave me a contract. So my whole time there before that, I was wrestling with no contract. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
I mean, it was, you know, I was getting paid and everything, and, you know, but, I mean, at the same time, I didn't know what to make or anything. But just hey, I'm happy to be here and stuff like that. But it was funny because we're sitting there like you were talking about earlier, like the skits we do at Universal Studios. But we're sitting there before we're going to do those skits. Me and Shark are sitting there talking with Vince Russo about what we're about to go do. And here comes Johnny Fairplay just come walking up. Oh, man, D-Ray, oh, man, you're so over this, that, the other. Yeah, I was on the dirt sheets, the PW, something, whatever. And they're talking about WWE looking at you and Monty Brown. And, oh, man, you're so over. And Vince Russo just got up and looked at him and said, where did you meet it? And he said, PW Insider, or some PW dirt sheet, right? So next thing you know, he gets up after that, walks 2 tables over to Jerry, and Jared starts talking. 30 minutes later, somebody from the office comes to me with a cut and dry generic contract. You know? So, and they're just reading it over to me, and I'm sitting there, and I mean, I'm like, wow, like, okay, you know, I can either go off of this rumor that Johnny Fairplay just said, or I could sign this contract in front of me. That's all I'm thinking. And then while he's talking, I'm looking at him, but it's like, you know, the teacher of Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I can sign this, or I could try, you know, I could see this one too. I could sign this one too. So I just said to myself, you know what? I might as well sign this, because this is real right in front of me. And the other stuff, that's just a rumor. Who knows if that's true or not? So I signed it. And so I went up to Fairplay a little bit later, and I said, dude, you guess what they really, somebody really said that? You know, and he was like, oh, man, you gonna go check it out, Come to find out, it was basically some fan giving their opinion that who they think on the TNA roster at that time could, you know, fit into the WWE world. You know, but hey, I mean, I benefited from it. You know, I'm not complaining.
Right.
But I thought that was fun. And the crazy part is the following week that made the dirt sheet because I guess Fairplay made a big deal out of something that really wasn't, you know, true at all. But hey, I got a contract out of it.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that something as little as that could have changed the whole outcome, you know, of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know. And then right after that, we went and started running around Universal Studios doing a bunch of skits and stuff. You know, just about all day.
Those, I got to tell you, as a fan watching those are like some of the greatest moments ever in TNA history. Like just that whole thing, you guys on the Jaws ride, and it's just great. You getting your face painted. I mean, it was great. I loved it. Like
we did that Jaws ride about 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
4 or 5 times. And next to the cameraman was Russo. Okay, when he comes up water, just act, stare out of your mind, and you know, because he's just kind of like we're just walking around, and he's just looking around, and saying, okay, let's go over here. Okay, let's eat some ice cream. Okay, you know, he's just doing it off the top of his head, and you know, and everything we did about 4 or 5 times. It took like a long day to the point where I was just exhausted. The last thing we did was the face paint stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and once we got back, I'm deep. I'm ready to, you know. And we got we did who do we wrestle at? Johnny Splinger and Disco Inferno. That's who wrestled in that match. And I'm walking to the bathroom to wash my face. They're like, no, don't take that off. I'm like, okay. So now I'm thinking like, damn, now I'm gonna have to wear face paint every week. But luckily that didn't turn to a thing. But that's, you know, I never wrestled out with the face paint.
How was it like? How was it like working with Vince Russo? Because you know he's a guy that looks at wrestling as a TV show, and I actually agree with him a lot of times on his wrestling.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of other guys you probably worked with, they're more like the old school, you know, wrestling style. How was it working with Vince Russo?
He's got, you know, it's not like I could say with buddies that we've hung out and stuff, but I've worked with him a good enough time to see a big difference on how he would produce a promo or put a match together compared to the other agents like a Dutch Mantel or Shane Douglas. I don't want time we're standing there, we had to do this promo one time, and Dutch had it first. So, but he had his head so flustered with other things. Because I mean, everybody's busy. Everybody's got other things going on. So that's like, okay, let's try this. And no, let's try that. Let's try. So trying to work things out. Then next thing you know, he said, Vince, you take care of this match. I got to do this, that, the other. And he came in and just broke it down so quick and so simple, and to where every little piece of this made so much sense to nothing was wasted, and I was like, wow, So I mean, like you said, everybody's got the old school way of doing things. He's got his way of doing things. All my interactions with him was good. Everything I've done with him was good. But it was funny how he would be able to take something, like I said, walking around the park, he's just looking around and saying, okay, let's do that. We'll go over there and say, okay, do this, that, the other, Shark, you do this, you do this. And it just worked, like he was just, he's a natural at it, I'll put it that way. Everything I've done with him was good. I don't have nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah, I mean, you and Shark Boy just had a chemistry. Like, I mean, you just said you guys didn't hang out or anything, but it's crazy. Like, you guys had, you guys had chemistry going, and you had it,
We get along. I mean, me and the Shark get along. But it's not like fortunately, I didn't know him, and he didn't know me. We didn't know each other at all. It just luckily worked.
Man. So I guess like once you heard about the Fox Sports Net deal, what was the back like when you guys finally got a TV deal, and you're not going to be doing the the weekly pay-per-views, you're going to be doing the regular once a month pay-per-view format?
It was, I guess everybody took it okay. The only big changes that really affected me anyway was them going from a regular square ring to a 6-sided ring, and I mean at the time they had the lucha guys from Mexico, and it was nothing. They're used to it. I got in the damn thing, and as soon as I'm looking at a turnbuckle. I turn, I look at another term. I'm turning, I'm looking at another term. I got dizzy for me. I had to get out and just like, wait a minute, let me breathe, because it felt like, how your equilibrium is thrown off, when you're not on steady ground.
Oh, sure.
Weird. I've never been in, a 6-sided ring before. But I got used to it eventually. But as far as that, it really didn't affect. The only thing that changed is instead of going to Nashville and Orlando every week, it was just Orlando. And I remember the last time in Nashville, we had like a big party at the hotel, because the hotel we stayed at, was like the TNA hotel. We were cool with the staff, and they were kind of like bummed because, we would see these people all the time,
Right.
And that's the only thing I can say as far as business-wise. It was just, we wouldn't be doing Nashville anymore. So instead of me flying from Nashville and from here to Nashville to Orlando, it would just be from Detroit to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that kind of sucked about that was when we was doing both, it was 2 paydays a week from them instead of now. Then it just turned into one.
Oh
but
yeah.
Now their schedule is like 5 days once a month, which is crazy, but I guess they can handle that. The guys that are there now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they, they've gone from the 6-sided ring to not the 6-sided ring, then back to the 6-sided ring, and
Thank God.
Yep.
Thank God. I hope they stick with the 4-sided ring.
Yeah, I bet. And you were working mostly against X Division guys, so obviously most of the guys you're working against, they're going to try to use all the different angles, and
they were hell-bent doing that. When they first got that 6-sided ring, I'll tell you players on that. One of the, when they first started doing Impact, their whole thing was, they were putting over was, okay, we got a 6-sided ring here. We're not the traditional type of wrestling, which is a 4-7. We got a 6-sided ring. So you're going to see all kind of craziness and this and that and the other. So we had to wrestle, me and the Shark had to wrestle Frankie Kazarian and Michael Shane, right?
oh yeah, I remember them.
And Jeff wanted him to do this move called the flux capacitor off the top rope, you know, on a six-sided ring. So we went out there, but, you know, like when you're standing in a square ring, if you put your fingers together, like, you know, in a square, but if you start spreading your fingers out, you know, it's wider, so your stance isn't the same. You know, so we're standing up there, and I mean, it was so different, so new to a lot of the guys. You know, when we're standing up there, and they were like spaghetti, and we were like, oh, no, I don't know about this. And he didn't want to do it either. But Jeff was like, damn it, you're doing it. That's got to happen. You're doing it. Because they wanted that to be like a big thing, because nobody has that in the States. Nobody in America would even seen that, except for a few people that would watch AAA, you know, from Mexico. So we ended up doing it, and luckily, you know, everything went fine, came out great. But, I mean, it was one of those, like, you have to. Not oh, you know, maybe if you can, no, that you got to do it. You know, because they were so hell-bent on making that a big focal point of the company. The same thing with the X division. They wanted, you know, they're like, Church say, I want a car crash tonight. Give me a car crash.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, geez. And, I mean, that's a scary spot just in itself, you know, and you just hope everything, you know, goes correctly. But, man, it's a crazy move. But, like, if you see it now, like, so many guys do that move now. It's just like, but I remember seeing that done from Frankie Kazarian first. But now you see a lot of guys doing that spot now. So it's just crazy how the wrestling business evolves like that. Man.
Yeah, it is. Those big moves are kind of like common now. I guess you could say, you know, you went back, you know, 60 years ago, the drop kick was like, wow, that's a finish. Like the vertical suplex, oh, that's a finish. Now that's, you know, so common, it's not even, you know, thought about. Like if somebody kicks out of something like that, it's not like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you just kicked out of a vertical suplex. You know, but if you go back 60 years ago, you know, that's a done deal. It's over with after that, you know?
Right.
Kind of like the moves now. Like when we started first doing, you know, like Quiet Storm, when he first started doing the move that got dubbed that you made in Destroyer, it was like, wow, oh my God, what is that? Now you got, you know, Bandito doing it 5 times in the match, and you know, the guy's kicking out, you know, so, I mean,
man,
I don't know, that's just how the wrestling changes.
Yeah, it is, and it just seems like the fans want more and more and more, and that's just kind of how the wrestler's been giving it to them, you know, so it just kind of keeps going and going in that cycle. But, you know, with me, I like that stuff, but don't get me wrong, a good storytelling match where you know, the moves really mean something. I think those are the best matches, to be honest with you.
That's my style right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just going into that, when, you know, like when I wasn't doing it, I was considered an X Division guy, but
right.
I didn't go out there doing all that crazy stuff. I was mostly all gimmick, you know?
Right.
So, you know, and so that because I was it was kind of like I was in there, but I was the guy that just didn't fit in, but did, you know, just because of size. You know, I don't really know how to explain that one. But I didn't do, you know, compared to everybody in the division, I didn't do all that wild stuff. I came out there, picked my hair, you know, the couple headbutts, you know, and the pro buster, and the people who still come up, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys were, I mean, just as important to the X division as anybody else, and I mean that I just remember watching you guys. I mean, you guys, you were a comedy team, but you had your place. You know what I mean? So it was it was great seeing you guys. So, what was it like being on that first pay-per-view Victory Road? I know you were in the X Division Battle Royal, or the Gauntlet match, the one that Hector Garza won. What was that like?
You know what? Everybody was on pins and needles about that, because the first monthly pay-per-view, they kept us down there for 5 days, you know, from, like, we'd come down there to get the Impact, but then stayed down there to the pay-per-view. The day before the pay-per-view, everybody had to go, you know, and do a walkthrough, you know, I mean, it's everybody's night, not just mine. because, you know, they wanted this to work. Everybody, you know, it's the first monthly deal. It was a big deal for everybody, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, luckily it went off without a hitch. Everything went well. The gauntlet match thing with Hector was cool. Actually, that was the last time. Let's see. No, that wasn't the last time. The week following was the last time I was down in Orlando. But, yeah, man, I mean, and not just with that, you know, everybody was on pins and needles, with that, hoping that everything with the Victory Road was going to go right, but it was so much going on as far as a change, you know, changing the office, too, because Jeff had shut us all down, like, right after that time, talking about how, you know, Dusty Rhodes is going to take over, you know, the wrestling side of things right now, because there's a lot of personal stuff going on with like that and cancer and stuff like that. So, yeah, Dusty Rhodes took over as the booker, and I mean, I always said hello, very respectful to Dusty. I always said, how you doing, young man? No problem, no heat, no nothing. But, you know, everybody has their own idea of what, you know, their vision of wrestling should be, and I guess I didn't fit into what he believed TNA should have been at that time. So the rest of my contract, I'm sitting at home. You know?
Oh, wow. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what happened. Yeah, the rest of my contract, I'm sitting at home, and then the way I told you, my contract was very generic, cut and dry. I felt like I sat down with a lawyer, and we, you know, had to go over a whole bunch of different stipulations and things like that of how much I should be getting and how many dates. No, it was so generic, cut and dry, you know, and I didn't have any leverage at the time. You know, they only coming at me with this contract because of the rumor. You know, who am I not to sign this?
Mm-hmm.
So, there was nothing I could do. So I'm sitting at home. I'm not wrestling. I'm not making any money. So I was getting a regular job while I still had a contract with TNA.
Wow.
You know?
Were you allowed to take back then? Were you allowed to take outside bookings?
Yes. I got a story about that too. Yes and no. Now, the only thing in writing on the contract that said that they own the likeness and all of that, but it never said anything about if you go wrestle for whoever, we have to, you know, get a percentage. But that was how it was set up, to where they would tell you, hey, if somebody wants to book you, you know, they have to go through us, the office. And I just shook my head and said, okay. But then when I would go play, I tell guys, no, you call me, you know, because they want a percentage of that. And I got in trouble one time because of that. I'm just getting to the airport. I don't know where I was at, but I'm just getting to the airport, and next thing you know, my phone is ringing, and I'm getting a call from some promoter in Wisconsin. You know, now I don't know the guy, and, you know, he seems like cool, you know, like a cool guy, and he's telling me how he got my info and everything. So I'm like, okay. So we decided to do a little business there, and, you know, he gave me some dates, and, you know, and amount and everything like that. You know, done deal. You know, I'm booked for, you know, whatever dates he had. As soon as I get to the building, Bill Brandon's coming to me, hey, did some promoters in Wisconsin try to get a hold of you? And I'm like, yeah. Well, you know you're supposed to go to the office. They're not supposed to pick you. They got to go to the office. Whatever kind of dealings you have with him, you got to cancel that. They're supposed to go to us. He tried to book so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and I don't know. This guy basically ruffled everybody's feathers in the office. So I called the dude back and said, hey, man, hey, I don't know what happened, you know, between you trying to book, you know, the other people here, but I'm going to have to cancel, you know. So ended up having to cancel that booking because I'm about to get in trouble because of that. But I still would tell promoters, hey, if you want to book me, come to me. But at the same time, I asked them, hey, you didn't call the office, did you? They told me, yeah, and I said, okay, well, you do it with the office then. You know, they told me no, okay, then you do with me. You know, but I mean, it's not like they were real strict and kept a tab on everybody and where they were working, because they knew everybody was working on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody was working for some indies on the weekend. You know, including myself, and it wasn't like a strict thing. Now, if they went to the office got a cut. If they didn't, they just didn't. You know.
Right.
It's not like anybody was policing, like, hey, you work for XYZ this past weekend. What did we tell you? You know?
Right.
So, but if it came in front of them, that's the only time they got hot about it. You know, if some mess went down and it's in front of their face, that's the only time you got confronted. Because, I mean, every single person there, the only place you couldn't work was, of course, you know, WWE. That's the only place with TV. You know, or at the same time, even Ring of Honor at the time. All the guys who worked for Ring of Honor at the time, they told them you can't work for Ring of Honor anymore. You know?
Right.
So that wasn't an issue with me because I wasn't working for them at the time. But everybody had to stop working with them because they got a TV deal now, and they were getting bigger. So as far as the indies, they really didn't care. This was in their face. But, you know, the no-nos, of course, WWE, Ring of Honor. Now that's about it at the time.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So what was would you say maybe Vince Russo was your biggest advocate at the time, and then maybe when he left, maybe it just the push just wasn't there?
I guess he was one of them. I know for a fact the reason I got a job in the first place was because Jeff Jarrett and S&M Tail liked me. You know, and later on found out Vince liked me too, because they had called me to come back in '06. You know.
Oh yeah, Bound for Glory.
They called me to come back in '06. Taylor called me to come back in '06, and so Dutch and Vince Russo, they're talking like, oh yeah, man, we're gonna get you back in here, and glad you back and everything like that. So, that's basically, how they were talking to me. But even Jerry Lynn said, yeah, man, don't worry, because he became an agent. He eventually stopped wrestling, became an agent for TNA before he left.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry, somebody should be calling you, we really want to have you back. And I really can't say why that didn't work out, because from when I left to that, everything was off and on. Going back, talking to him, having it, them bringing me in, but nothing would happen. So I really didn't know. The office changed so much from Jeff Jarrett to Dusty Rhodes. Then it was a committee of a few people there, So, I mean, so much changed. Then, then Hogan and Bischoff came in. It was just so much change. It wasn't just me. A lot of guys got lost in the shuffle. It's not like, I did something wrong or I pissed somebody off. It's just, got lost in the shuffle of things because you had so much change of guard,
Yeah. That was a big roster, too.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing happened with WCW, too. With so much change of guard. You'll see a guy, then next show he just disappeared with no explanation of why.
Yeah, I was hoping to see. I mean, I remember when you returned at Bound for Glory 06. I was hoping they would, do something, but just
that's what I was told. That hey, you're back in the fold. But I mean, they would call me. Oh yeah, we're going to do this and bring me in, and nothing to happen. And then like same thing with the Bound for Glory. Okay, we're bringing Bound for Glory. Okay, cool. Okay, I guess I'm back in the fold now. Then nothing happened. They'll call me later on. Oh, okay, hey, don't make any plans. Want to do this and that with you. Fly me in, and I'll be back there. Nothing happened, and a lot of that was going on. So it was just so much change in the guard and so much, minds are changing. Even though I'm there now, I'm back. Things change at the last minute. So, a lot of things that I was told just didn't happen.
Man. So I guess did you ever get to? I mean, I'm sure you got to meet Dixie Carter a few times, correct?
Oh Oh, yeah. Even back in the day, I mean, Dixie was there since day one, but she didn't really do anything hands-on. She would show up, say hi to everybody, basically say the same thing she said to you last week, and then leave. She wouldn't even stay, or she'd stay for a while and then just leave or just disappear. I wouldn't see her anymore, And later on, she became more hands-on and more wanting to be involved. But most of my time there, I was still all the time, but she was not very hands-on at all. Everything was Jeff handled everything, pretty much, There was so much change in the guard, she started getting more involved and more involved and more involved as far as how the product was produced and, who's doing what.
Right. And how were your experiences with Jeff Jarrett?
Oh, Jeff was cool. I don't have anything ill to say about anybody there. Jeff was a cool guy. The only thing is, anytime I would try to come up with different ideas and stuff like that, I would, go to him, or I would go to Bob Ryder, or really anybody that listened. Because, the D-Ray thing was cool, but I wanted to do something more than that. I didn't want just to get stuck as just this goofball guy. So, I would come up with different ideas. I remember one time I came up with Billy Kidman's cousin, Mikey Bat. He was there for a while. So, I was joking around calling him Mikey Good Bat. And I said, hey, what would be like a Super Friends type thing or something? And maybe turn that into something,
Yeah.
And I went to them and they were just kind of like, okay, one thing right out the other. They just, the only thing is the way they saw things is how they wanted it, and that was it. It wasn't a lot of, as far as how me being concerned was, it wasn't too much, my opinion wasn't looked at too much as far as what I thought of what I wanted to do. This is kind of like, this is what we got, this is what you're going to do, and that's it.
And
I never had no problem with anybody.
And that's got to be kind of frustrating, you coming up with all these new ideas, and they're just not, either they're not taking them down or not putting them to use, It was. I remember one time I called Terry Taylor while he was still there and had an idea and said, how about this? What if I was hosting up, look, I'm not looking for no deal, just, just a way to get back on TV and just be able to change and be able to still, make a buck, because they change happen on TV. I said, what if I come in, do a program with, Shark Boy, hair versus mask, drop the hair, and off I go, and he make him look like $1 million. Well, that would probably make real good TV, but right now, we're working on this, that, the other, and in the plans of getting a second hour and all of this, that, the other, but, nothing came of it, so. Wow.
And Jeff would call me periodically and, say the same thing. We work on, second hour TV, if that happens, probably back, and all of that. So, I would get good calls all the time about, wanting to do this, that, and the other, but none of it happened.
Wow.
So,
I guess.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I guess what was your, I guess when it was all said and done, what was your favorite moment in TNA?
Favorite moment. Nobody's ever asked me that one yet. What was my favorite moment? Most memorable moment. I would have to say, when I first started tagging with Shark, the stuff we would do, that's when, like Frank Azaria, Michael Shane, the Naturals, our first few matches on Impact, I had to say that was like the most memorable time there, because eventually we ended up just becoming like, when they would want to bring somebody in for a tryout, they would wrestle me in the Shock,
Right.
So that's what we eventually became. Instead of just like, oh wow, yeah, these guys are cool and funny, let's put them in, in the mix, give them a title shot or put them up against a solid team, and have something for us. Eventually, where they didn't even have that for us, we just there having matches with guys that they wanted to look at.
Right.
And it's funny because I remember one of those times, me and the Shot, we worked with, one time it was Delirious and I forgot who he was tagging with, but they were looking at them, and now look at him now. He's running Ring of Honor, you know.
Right, yeah, he's like the main guy there almost.
Yeah. And another time it was Tugboat's son. We had Russell Tugboat's son, and he came with C.W. Anderson one time, you know.
Wow.
But at the end of me and Sharp Boys tag, it was basically like, you know, we were used pretty much just, you know, to have a match with guys they want to look at and see if they want to bring them in.
Wow, and there's just not a lot of storyline.
Yeah, it didn't have that before. It was just that. And I had to say the best one was like when we first started tagging and the Impact first started.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy how quick, you know, it was over with. And I mean, after Impact, I mean, I know you had that one match with MVP on SmackDown. How'd that all work out?
That's a funny one. Well, when I told you I was sitting at home, you know, under contract with TNA, so I started really reading this thing as far as like, okay, I can't wait till this is over with, because I basically could not do anything. I could do the indies and stuff, but I could not really try to go get a job anywhere because I got this contract here. And one of the stipulations was, even in the cut and dry one, was that, you know, they have the option to renew, even if I didn't want to, you know, after the first year. But then I'm really reading this thing and said once it goes into the last 90 days, I don't have to renew if I don't want to. So I'm like, okay, let me start calling WWE. So I called Tommy Dreamer and I started talking to him, and he was like, oh yeah, I know who you are. I met him a few times before that, but he was like, oh yeah, I know who you are. Like, you want to do anything like that? But then he stopped and said, are you currently under contract with anybody? And I was like, well, I'm in the last 90 days. He's like, you don't stop right there. I can't even talk to you. But as soon as I'm done, call me back. Click. So I'm like, okay. I mean, that's some kind of good news there. So 91st day, I'll pick up the phone and call him right away. You know, and luckily got a hold of him and reminded him of the conversation. I said, I'm in the free and clear. I'm not under contract with anybody. He was like, okay, and he gave me dates right away. Nothing really came with that, but I mean, I was there, and you know, they were talking to me a little bit. And everything was cool, but nothing came of it. The second time I was supposed to have a match with Simon Dean on Velocity. I mean, we put everything together, and we were 30 minutes out. I'm in my gear, ready to go. The ring was filling up. Lady comes up to me, and they said, "Oh, sorry, kid, they cut a match because you have to do something with Dubois," and so that never happened. Then eventually he became the head of talent relations, and he was the one who called me to wrestle MVP on the SmackDown. That's how that happened. You know. Wow. So the only thing I didn't know about that was that I had to, you know, be the champion from Africa or whatever. Because I'm sitting, I mean, all I know is that I'm supposed to wrestle MVP on SmackDown. I'm in the locker room putting on my wrestling gear. You know, when some guy comes, he said, "Oh, Dorian, to wardrobe," and I'm like, wardrobe. I'm like, all right. So I follow this guy, and I mean, anybody that listens to Bruce Pritchard's podcast has heard of Mr. Magic and everything like that. So I'm over there with Mr. Magic, and he's got like pots for all kind of crazy stuff. And it's funny because I'm sitting there listening to him, and like, oh yeah, he's gonna be champion African, and I'm like, okay. And I'm looking over to my left, and there's Kane and the Balls and Honey cracking up laughing, and they're helping me making this stuff. They're like beads and loincloths and all this other stuff. And they're just cracking up. Can't wait to see it and to get a good laugh. A lot of those guys I do, you know. And but then Monty Brown was up there too. And so I got all this on now, and I was laughing about damn stuff. Because I was totally caught off guard with that one. But I'm like, sure, why not? Hell, it might work. You never know. It turns to a job. It's like the anyway thing. Look how that happened. So I go out there and I have the match with him and everything. Everything was cool. As soon as I come back, Vince man, stood up and shook my hand, told me thank you very much. And I didn't even know I had a name until I eventually seen it. And I didn't see the actual match till weeks later because I was like, okay, yeah, I got on TV with the SmackDown, but I don't know. I was hoping for something more. Like I said, I got totally caught off guard with, doing the African gimmick or whatever. So, yeah, I didn't know I had his name, so I basically sat down and watched the tape of the match.
Right. Wow. So, I mean, anything after that? I mean, did they just kind of say, "Oh, we'll keep in touch," and then just never turned out?
Well, after that, I was calling him like crazy. And Missy got a hold of Simon Dean again and just said, "Hey, thanks for the opportunity. Just wondering if anything come out of that, Because, I mean, how often do they, just throw a gimmick on somebody and not hire them? That's kind of, that really doesn't happen. I'm thinking, okay, maybe, they invest so much in give me this gimmick to do real quick. Hell, let's I'm going to make something out of it and, at least bug the hell out of them about it. And, no, he basically told me, I fit the description of what they wanted and, they had something for me, he'll let me know, but as of right now, he didn't. But then next thing you know, he's out of talent relations, and now they got, they have some guy named Mike Bucci. I mean, not Mike Bucci, I'm lost for the word now. He's still there. I can't think. I'll think of it in a minute. But he was out of talent relations, and they had brought other people in. Mark Carano, that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, Mark Carano and Canyon Seaman. They're talent relations now. So, it seems like every so often, that's like a revolving door of who's in that, position. So
Right.
I mean, I was actually up with WWE for a week this past June, to get looked at, but Justin really came over. The most I did was some Congo line with No Way Jose. I did that.
Oh,
But,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was with him for 4 days, but that was about it. But after the whole SmackDown thing, I just started, kept doing the indies and stuff like that. I went to Japan in 2012. Tajiri had a promotion called Smash, and I went over there, and everything went well. They liked me and stuff like that. But, his money backer, they fell out, and that was that. Because, we were talking about me coming back over there, but, he lost his money guy. So we started running a different promotion, a smaller promotion, Wrestling New Classic, and he didn't have the money like he did before to bring in people. And then eventually started just, doing his own thing, Wrestling in Japan and stuff like that. But yeah, so Japan was cool, but just like I said, they lost the money guy, so that really came with that, But
Wow.
and I did a Dark Ring of Honor, too. But since then, I totally changed the gimmick. I'm the Fro Gun D-Ray 3000. It's kind of like a spoof of Shona from the movie Last Dragon. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, yeah. I know. Oh, yeah. That. Once I saw your profile pic, I knew that's what you were going for.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, since I've been doing that, people have been loving it, man. People have been digging it because nobody's really done that before, which is kind of a surprise to me.
Right.
That nobody tried to really do that gimmick, put it in wrestling. And I've always been the type to think outside the box to really stand out. Because, it's pro wrestling. It's a given you're going to see wrestling. But what's going to be the difference between, just having just straight wrestlers and everything like that. I want it to be something different, something to stand out. And I've always been like that, wanting to be just totally different than the norm. And pretty much that's what got me the job with TNA in the first place, because I just look different than everybody.
Right.
It's not like they said, wow, this guy is such a great wrestler. I just look different than everybody. And then sometimes, my favorite saying as far as wrestling is, you don't have to be the best to be the best. Just standing out alone could get you a job.
Right.
So since I've been doing the Fro Gun, man, things have been picking up again. People's been digging it, and And I wish I thought of it earlier.
Well, it's just funny, like how they wanted you to kind of almost impersonate Andre 3000, but who would have thought you'd be a much better Shogun than you would Andre 3000?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I usually like to say I'm not doing that, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm sure. And it means, seriously, in my mind, I had no idea the connection there. But, okay, whatever. It works for a little bit, I guess, so.
Sure.
I'm just hoping that, the Shogun D-Ray 2000, I can get a job as that, man. I mean, it just seems like that's the right one,
And I got to say now that, Scott D'Amore's a vice president of Impact, has he reached out to you at all for maybe doing some stuff with Impact?
No. Actually, when they were this past summer, I went up there and said, what's up? This is right before I started doing the program, though.
Mm-hmm.
Just to, say what's up and kind of, see guys I ain't seen in a long time, but me and Scott really haven't talked about anything, But yeah, him and Don Callis are running things up there now. But yeah, I haven't really talked to him much at all about doing anything, and they haven't reached out to me. But truthfully, my goals right now, man, if I could just get, steady work in Japan, that's to me, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. I mean, if something else comes along, WWE, Impact, or wherever, I mean, I'm not going to say no.
Right.
But, I mean, everybody has goals and things they want to accomplish. If I can get back to in Japan on a steady, regular basis, then I'm happy. I'm set.
Yeah, that's awesome because we want to see you again. I mean, for the long, TNA Impact fans, we just want to see you on TV, and I think you just never really got the closure that maybe, I mean, even with if you got, a new persona, I think that would be great too, either way. So, and I mean, you started so young. I mean, you got all that, TV time really young. So, you still got a lot of years left of you, so.
I hope so.
Right.
So I started wrestling. I was 18 years old. I'm 36 now. It'll be 19 years in September. So yeah, I didn't start really young. And my whole adult life, all I've been doing is wrestling. That's all I really know.
Right.
So,
right. And
sometimes I sit and scratch my head, like, what am I going to do when the wrestling is done? I was like, oh man, I don't know. But I don't know. Yeah, that's all I really know. And I hope I'm able to do that for you and everybody else to get back on TV somewhere.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many companies out now. It's probably one of the best times to be a wrestler. You got AEW starting up, and you got all these promotions. I mean, Ring of Honor is probably its strongest it's ever been, and I think Impact's kind of regrouping to the point where they're stable again. So, I think it's a good time to be a wrestler right now.
Actually, it is. I mean, wrestling. It seems like everything is on a cusp of another big wrestling boom because there's more companies now than it has been in pretty much the last 20 years. It's not like a monopoly like it has been. The AEW, I know those guys, but not like really, really well. I've met them all, here and there, up and down the road. Billy Gunn, I know he's in the office somewhat, so I hit him up and sent him some of the program stuff. I haven't heard back anything yet, but that, that doesn't mean something might happen down the road. But, I hope that really takes off and does well, because that won't do anything but just help the wrestling business,
Yeah.
I hope that's successful. I hope Major League Wrestling becomes more successful. Everybody becomes more successful, because that would, in the whole, that would help the wrestling business. And another reason it's a lot easier now is because a lot of these new guys, they don't have the struggles of, like, oh man, I don't have enough money to be able to send out packages to all these companies. It's easy, where they just take their phone, have somebody film the match, and throw it up online. Easy peasy. They don't have to actually put physical content in the mail. I spent $60 once just sending 2 packages to Japan years ago. tapes and pictures. Those days, pretty much over. So it's a lot easier to put yourself out there. You definitely need to have a database now to where anybody, even if you're not a wrestler, can go and fill out the thing, put a couple pictures and some videos of yourself, cutting a promo or whatever you do, and if they like you in whatever form, they bring you in. Before, you would have to know somebody to even, get considered to get looked at by them. So it's a lot easier now to put yourself out there to be discovered than it has been in the past. And with more companies out there, there's going to be a need for talent. So
right.
I just hope everything takes off and then it's another wrestling boom before I got to hang it up,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we want to see the Fro Gun somewhere. It don't matter where, because,
I hope everybody gets to see the Fro Gun somewhere. That's my goal, man. If I can get out back on TV just for a little bit, just get the Fro Gun going, just when people say, wow, that was cool, a good chuckle, good laugh or something, I'm happy with that.
Man. So what's your main promotion you're wrestling out of right now?
Well, I'm mostly wrestling a lot in Ohio, a little bit here in Michigan where I live. Live Pro Wrestling in Fremont, Ohio. I'll be there this Saturday. That's one of the main promotions I wrestled for. MPWA in Michigan is one of the main promotions I wrestle for. I wrestle for a lot of different people. Those are the ones I wrestle for on a steady basis, But, even like I would be in the Fro Gun, if things have picked up tenfold, man. But those two companies are the ones I mainly wrestle for, right now.
Wow. And where can fans reach you on social media?
Oh, yeah, all the fans can check me out. They can go to Facebook and just put in the Fro Gun D-Ray 3000 and hit the like. Or they can, Facebook.com/D-Ray 3K, all one thing. Or they can check me out on the Instagram. I'll tell you, man, if it wasn't for wrestling, I wouldn't have nothing to do with social media. But they can check me out on the Instagram. DFunk3000 is the Instagram account. Righteous Maker 1 is Twitter. But I'm mainly on the Facebook. But either one of those, you can come check me out, see everything that I'm doing, all the Fro Gun D-Ray 3000 stuff that's going on, so everybody can check me out.
Well, D-Ray, Fro Gun, thanks for coming on tonight, and it was great to hear your story, and it was a blast just reminiscing about, all the great moments. I mean, it was cut short, but man, I hope it's not the last time we see you. So I'll keep hyping you out there, and I'll keep hoping that some company picks you up, because I definitely want to see the Fro Gun.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Hey, let them know. Let everybody know you want to see the Fro Gun, because that'll definitely help it happen.
We'll do. I'll start tweeting. We do that on the HeelCast quite a bit. So, I mean, we're definitely not afraid to let our voices be heard. That's for sure. We've gotten some positivity about it and some negativity. So we just do what we do, and But once again, thanks for coming on. Thanks for giving us your time tonight.
I appreciate that. Truly do, man. Thank you.
You have a good one.